Welcome to PodApplaud, the Monday through Friday podcast that aims to enable your podcast habit. I'm your host, Seb, and today we are going to talk about the podcast, The Frame Savers. The Frame Savers is a podcast focused on examining, rating, and discussing the practice of speedrunning retro video games, hosted by John Carls and Author Blues. The show alternates between full episodes that often approach 2 hours in length and pocket episodes that fall between 20 minutes and an hour, depending on the topic. There's a large backlog nearing 150 episodes combining full and pocket episodes. The Frame Savers talk about a particular video game or sometimes a small cluster of video games each episode. They mostly claim to cover 3 things for their show. 1. History. 2. Review. And 3. Speedrunning discussion. They accomplish all of this very well, even if the episode slowly becomes a saga. There is not too much off-topic discussion, but covering all 3 of the topics as well as the hosts do just ends up taking a lot of time, which leads to the episode length. The hosts are diligent in their researching and playing through the games they cover. This, combined with a speedrunner guest who is entirely attuned to the game, leads to expertise-level knowledge each episode. Real quick, if you got this far into this episode of PodApplaud despite a lack of video game interest, let me just say I admire your curiosity. And let me clarify, speedrunning is an odd mixture of the art and sport of beating a video game as quickly as possible by honing your skill at the game, exploiting glitches, loopholes in the game's logic, and all sorts of fun trickery. So, as I was saying before, the information is top-notch. They cover each game inside and out. In addition to this, the hosts are very personable, have funny moments, and are genuinely talented at both presenting and entertaining. I would also like to congratulate the Frame Savers on their audio quality. Their show is live streamed on Twitch while it is being recorded. Sometimes these types of shows can have all sorts of audio issues, yet here the audio is especially good. Live streamers are quite intimate with their audience, which means these podcasts often start off with some meandering banter between the hosts to cater to the fans who are so invested in the personalities. The Frame Savers do uphold this particular trend, which is a matter of taste and not necessarily good or bad. In addition, there is a Q&A segment with the live chat near the end of each episode. So, suffice to say, all the informative content and the interaction with the fans leads to each episode being jam-packed. This leads to my main suggestion for how the show might be improved: timestamps. I think the addition of timestamps in their episode descriptions would really help. The episodes often approach the 2-hour mark and cover many different aspects. With timestamps, people who want just the review could pop in to hear that. People who want to know when the speedrunning discussion starts would be able to find it without waiting through a very long episode. And people who may be fine with skipping the opening banter or live Q&A would likely be quite thankful. Okay, so here on PodApplaud, I rate shows on a 1 to 5 scale. 1 is silence, 2 is a slow clap, 3 is applause, 4 is a round of applause, and 5, of course, is a standing ovation. I'm going to break my rules a bit and give the Frame Savers a 3 on their full-sized episodes and a 4 on their pocket episodes. It is a bit ironic that this podcast about speedrunning ends up not shaving any time itself. I try not to knock off points just for being long. There are situations in which the longer the podcast, the better. However, the content of the show is really good, but really spread out. Timestamps would just make the show more approachable. I recommend the full episodes to people who have a big lump of time to binge or don't mind pausing halfway. The pocket episodes are great for people not fully engrossed in the niche, but are interested and willing to learn more. That's been the show for today. I hope you found it valuable. If you wish to reach out to me, you can find me on Twitter at PodApplaud or send an email to podapplaud@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, and please tune in again.